Here's my presentation I'm going to be using for Halloween. What if War of the Worlds happened right before the First World War? Now I'll be using the War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells and the Great Martian War by the History Channel because yes, the chances of anything coming from Mars are 1,000,000 to 1. What is War of the Worlds before I get into character? So, War of the Worlds is a novel in which it is the first novel to depict a conflict between an extraterrestrial race and humans. The aliens are also not overpowered. Now, what convinced me to do this was the Orson Welles broadcast. The Orson Welles broadcast had happened on October 30th, 1938, where Orson Welles would give a Halloween special on, you guessed it, War of the Worlds. Now, the problem with this was that people would tune in after the whole credits in the beginning. So what people would hear would be people screaming and Martians invading on Earth, which means people panicked a lot. Guess what? Hey, phones were not invented till like 1990s to 1980s-ish, which is not very yippee. That if we don't end war will end us. No one would believe in the last years of the 19th century that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space. No one could have dreamed we were being scrutinized as someone with a microscope studies creatures that swarm and multiply under a drop of water. Few men even considered the possibility of life on other planets. And yet, across the gulf of space, minds immeasurably superior to ours regarded this Earth with envious eyes, and slowly and surely they drew their plans against us. War of the Worlds, the original by H.G. Wells, retold in Brady Cunningham's Google Slideshow adaptation. What do you think this field would be? We'll have home to some of the most terrifying battles ever? It actually was, and I am going to explain it to you. Now, first the German Empire had a meteorite crash into the ground in their territory. No suspicion yet. Mars. This is a picture of Mars, and this is the map of the world, which Mars is the planet where the invaders reside. The German army goes into the forest where the supposed meteorite crashed into the ground. They don't come back out. First Martian machine spotted. The Kaiser orders mass recruitment. Here's a picture of the machine. Cities taken and Poland is cut off via Martian strategy. Other countries begin mass deployment of troops too. Picture of German troops mobilizing to fight against the Martians. Battles rage across Martian territory / Europe territory, as most of Poland is taken by the Martians, leaving a surprised Europe. The first battle, where thousands of humans died and few Martians killed. The Martians push into the Russian Empire and Austria-Hungary. Small outposts of resistance still remain in Martian territory, full of civilians. The Martians push further as a Russian assault begins against the Martians, causing hundreds of thousands of casualties for Russia. A photo of Russian soldiers marching to their own deaths. The Romanian army pushes into Austria-Hungary thinking the Martians weren't a threat. Oh, yes they were. The Kaiser flees Germany in order to get to safety. The Russian assault fails with over 20 million dead. Who would have thought launching countless assaults after countless assaults, also without knowing your enemy, would not end well? Romania is the first to fall, with Austro-Hungary being the second. Then Denmark falls. The French begin fortifying their own territory as the leaders of Europe beg the U.S. to join in. More Baltic countries fall, and in a sick mockery of the German Empire, the Martians push into Belgium and destroy it. The Kaiser commits suicide due to guilt on how he let the German Empire fall, but the German army has not fallen yet, in which they decided to help the French by completely blitzkrieging the Martians. Yes, the Germans are using World War II tactics in World War I. And it's simply World War 1.5. The Martians push into Switzerland but cannot push further into France due to German resistance. As you can see, Switzerland pushes the Martians back for a moment to buy themselves time as the German army pushes into Martian territory. The Martians do the same tactic that the German Empire has been doing, and now the U.S. has joined the war and is mobilizing troops to invade the Martians. Lenin begins a mass revolution as the Martians push further into French and Italian territory, as well as Russian territory. But U.S. troops can be seen off the coast. And by the way, the President of the United States was 55, so maybe it's about time you can get some sleep instead of staying up all night playing Skibidi Toilet Simulator. U.S. troops then land on Martian soil as France and Italy entrench themselves, with their trenches having at least 50 artillery guns on standby, as this is the most effective weapon at the time. Martian technology has been stolen from the Martians, and now scientists are reverse engineering it, mainly the heat ray. The Russian Revolution has completely wiped out the old Tsar regime, and a battle for the Martian headquarters will take place. The battle for the Martian headquarters begins as a new Martian machine is deployed. The Heron, equipped with laser cannons to flush out enemies out of cover or demolish buildings, one of the two. The Martians win the battle and push back the Allies, with Italy doing the best via gaining territory and boosting morale, while a new machine is deployed, the Lice. The Lice went around old battlefields, making humming-like sounds and taking bodies, weapons, artillery shells, and everything else, leaving a clean battlefield by the next day. The Allies realize that air superiority is the way to go, as the Herons and tripods can't aim up, but can only aim down to the ground. So the Allies use this, effectively taking more territory. Oh yeah, these are just videos I found. The Martians make their territory have a pungent smell for some reason. However, wannabe Napoleon launches a rapid offensive as other countries follow suit. The Martians instantly push back the wannabe Napoleon, and Britain has a small red dot on its aisle. Time to hit that big red panic button. You can't really see it here, however, there is a red dot on it. The Martians push the French further back as siege London, as the wannabe Napoleon dies from a blast from a heat ray. The Americans and French push back the Martians with the use of teamwork. However, the Martians may invade more of the Ottomans, and the British defeat the Martians using their navy. With the most famous battle being the Battle of HMS Thunderchild, where a ship by the same name took on 3 Martian tripods and destroyed them. A picture painted by H.G. Wells depicting the battle. The Heron's laser cannons successfully engineered, with Italy being the first to use them in battle, equipping them on tanks. However, it was a loss for humans. It was an encouraging loss, as the Martians lost more than the humans did. There's also a punt gun that was made. It was made to destroy tripods and herons in a fast manner, which is a depiction of the punt gun. The U.S. pushes further into the Martian territory using new supplies from Italy. The Soviets and Italians launch an offensive against the Martians. Shocking news is discovered. The Lice were originally theorized to pick up dead bodies in order for the Martians to feast, but instead they were gathering metal, meaning every shot fired, every shell that exploded, benefited the Martians more than the human forces. However, the Martians do eat humans. The Martians push the Allies back further, as now the Martians seem to be losing due to a rapid offensive. The Allies entrench themselves again. The Soviets launch a massive offensive against the Martians as the Allies begin mass recruitment again. The Soviets push further. Anything else to be said? The Allies push further into Martian territory as the Martians' weakness is discovered: bacteria. German volunteers start coming in to fight in honor of Germany, in which they fight against the Martians with no mercy, killing any Martian survivors. The Allies push further until the Martians only control Denmark. This seems to be the end of the Martians. Photo of British soldiers cheering about how the war is almost over. The Allies pushed straight into Denmark, taking it quickly and also getting lots of Martian prisoners. After 4 years of constant struggling and fighting, humans won after many struggles. 2 alliances formed: the Council of the Damned, which is full of countries that were initially destroyed during the conflict, and the League of Nations, which consists of the US, the United Kingdom, France, and Germany, the Soviet Union, Ottoman Empire, Spain, Norway, Sweden, and Italy. However, not everything is fine and dandy. White people would refer to black people as half Martian hybrids, which makes no sense, by the way, and was later proven wrong later on. And China believed that the Martians were angels coming down to punish Europe for their sins against China. The balance of power in Europe was out of place and ruined entirely. After 10 days, the heartbeat of life thrived once again as people lit off fireworks, jumped on Martian corpses, and painted Martian machines, with generals from all of the countries that were involved in the conflict meeting to discuss what would happen next. However, everyone was left wondering, does the future belong to us or the Martians? With writers like H.G. Wells saying that the Martian invasion was similar to the British colonization and how barbaric it was. The last Martian captive died in 1965 due to no food being available. The end, almost. But wait, there is more. I think I forgot to mention I got a book from the U.S. documenting the war. Don't ask where I got it. Ignore this video. Chapter 1. It all started when my brother asked me to come to his house in order to see the spectacle outside of this world. So I waited till it was dark before going out to my brother's house. When I reached his house and looked into his telescope, I saw Mars, and I saw blue explosions coming from its surface. Yet I wasn't afraid. I was excited. Here's a map of the U.S. and a picture in front of me. I saw a cylinder crash into Grover's mill. I'll put up a map where I am and where the cylinder crashed. I don't have a good feeling about this. I'm just going to say if I don't make it out alive, I want to say that I should have just stayed in Canada. Well, isn't this just great? And the cylinder was actually space shovels for some kind of gross alien. It used this weird funnel thing to turn people into ash. I swear that thing can cut a naval ship in half. Well, the aliens built something. It's a weird 3-legged machine with his pistol attached to one of his arms. I also got my gas-powered car and drove to Oklahoma, and on my way to Texas in order to help defend my home state in the Alamo. It's been a while, I know, but I heard from the news that the Martians were pushing into the U.S. further. I'm in Texas and currently heading straight for the Alamo. Currently, the Martians seem to be trying to set up a front line. Most likely, once they take the half of the country from us. And again, it's been a while, but now I am worried that if I made the right choice. I made it to the Alamo, however, Martians have us surrounded. We held them back. We blew up most of their invading force using artillery guns the U.S. got us. I am staying at the Alamo however, it's only 1914. We've already almost kicked them off our turf. We kicked them off the U.S. soil. I've joined the army in order to serve my country well. I hope I can write in this a little longer. Now, this is the end of the slideshow. This is meant to show how different history could have turned out. And we should be lucky that we got the timeline we got. Also, bloopers on the next slide. However, I won't really show them to you. You can see them yourself. Oh yeah, if you see a random person on the next slide, my friend Liam, who said he would help. However, he didn't exactly help all that much. Said that I should add it into the slideshow. So yeah, right here.